Okay, so now I have some good news to share after these gloomy, sad news of Muslim family being killed in Canada, Ahmadi late woman being pulled out of a grave, and her dead body being desecrated, and this little girl being married to her Prince Charming. So, other than that, I've got some good news for you, and I'm going to share that with you. Just give me a moment. Where is it? So, XMNA, they recently held a survey. This is a pretty decent survey, actually, very good survey. And they're very interesting findings. So, let me share them with you. So let me tell you, there was the sample size is supposedly about over 500 people, close to 550, maybe just under 550, or maybe just over 550. And a disclaimer is that most of these ex-Muslims reside in America and Canada, and most of these ex-Muslims are from South Asia, Africa, and Arabia, or Middle East. They do recognize that it doesn't include the large African American Muslim community because they are not somehow linked with this ex-Muslim kind of a scene as much. They have their own Nation of Islam extension, and then they probably are not even taken seriously as far as the mainstream Islam is concerned. So anyway, so let's have a look into these findings. What were the findings? So let's have a look at the demographics first of all. So 10% were 18 to 22, and 37%, the biggest one, was 23 to 28%, from the ages of 23 to 28, and 28% were 29 to 34, and then 20% were 35 to 44. So big. So these are young ex-Muslims, basically, if you want to include people under 44 as young. I fall in that category now. I'm 37 years old. So what is this? 90. Oh, that's 90. Okay, I should have just minus the 6% from there. So 95% of the people are under the ages of 44. So that's a pretty decent demographic. And 61% were males and 37% were females. Now that's interesting as well. Almost, not double, just quite. So that's a lot of people who which is always I've always wondered why the more men are likely to leave Islam than women, which is and now we have stats to show that as well. Obviously, this is one of its kind. Anyway, so immigrants and their origins. 32% were non-immigrants, so they were born and raised in America. And surprisingly, 68% were immigrants. Now, I would have thought that it would have been the other way around. Like there would have been more non-immigrants, like American-born, or Canadian-born Muslims becoming ex-Muslims rather than the immigrants becoming ex-Muslims. So this is actually a very promising sign because obviously most of these people are young people, as I showed you here, and they're going to be, that means a lot more kids are going to be born, and then, there could be atheists. Now, their fathers and mothers, where were they from? 52% South Asian fathers, 51% South Asian mothers, 34% Middle Eastern, and more or less 33%. Why is there a shortfall of 1% when it comes to mothers? Oh, is it probably because fathers are marrying people outside of their ethnicity? Oh, cheeky. Okay, that probably explains it. Sub-Saharan African, okay, they're equal. They're marrying within themselves. 6%, and then 2% American fathers. Oh, right, okay. Some of the ladies are doing that too. Okay, good. Oh no, you can see there's 4% mothers are American. So yeah, that's where I think the other percentages are going. So that's obviously, as we can see, it's definitely very South Asia, Middle East, North Africa dominant. That's what it is. What are the education? As we see, more you get educated, more you get away from religion. So doctoral professionals, 17%. That is huge. They've got some sort of a master's degree, 22%. Bachelor's, 43%. And that's because more people stop at the bachelor's level, as yours truly as well. So that just shows that, people, even if they keep on going with masters and even towards PhD, they are still leaving Islam. Well, anyway. So they're not, these guys are not basically uneducated people. These are educated, smart people who are leaving Islam. Okay, so what is the age of apostasy? Who left Islam at the age of under 16? 16%. So, okay, that can happen too. I think I started doubting around that age, but I didn't leave Islam until 21, 22. So I would have fallen in the second category, 17 to 22. Now that's 46%. That's very heavy. So almost half the people of the survey left Islam between the ages of 17 to 22. And 23 to 28, 24%. So this is obviously very heavy. And that actually shows that as people get older, they don't tend to change their habits or their beliefs or their style. So this is probably why it's falling further down. But so these ages, what that tells me, are very, very critical. And I think most of my listeners fall in these these two age brackets as well. So we need these people. We need to target these people, 17 to 28. 16 to 28, I'd probably say that would be good. Period of questioning. Now, this is interesting. 7% of the people say that they questioned Islam for a few days and then they changed Islam. I don't know. I don't buy this figure. Months is probably more reasonable, 30%. Yeah, 30, you can technically leave Islam after 3 months, 4 or 5 months, or you can have serious doubts about Islam once you find out about slavery, sex slavery, wife beating, all of that kind of nasty stuff that we have in Islam. And I'm not even talking about the funny, silly, stupid stuff. I like flying donkeys and splitting on the moon and all of that kind of, or meteors being shooting stars being missiles thrown at jinn for eavesdropping between conversations of between angels and God. Yeah, that's true. It's in the Quran. 63% of the people said they studied Islam for years and years and then they ended up leaving Islam. So that is quite a stat. Okay, percentage of people who described what as a factor contributing to their apostasy. Now, this is top 3 bits. Obviously, very interesting. So, Islam and human rights. 35% of the people said that was the main straw that broke the camel's back. But 58% of the people said, yeah, look, it was a very crucial part. 7% said, well, I didn't even care about that. Now, conflicts between Islam and science, like how in the 90s and 80s and 70s, people like Zakir Naik and Ahmed Deedat, they tried to popularize the concept of there's science in Islam. Look, the Big Bang Theory, the embryology, look, all of that is there. So obviously that didn't go too well with them. 28% of people said that was the primary factor. So meaning they said, what is this salt and fresh water don't mix together? What is it Big Bang bullshit that you're telling us? Or the Adam and Eve story or the Noah story or shooting stars being missiles thrown at the jinns. So 28% said no, but 65% said it was a contributing factor. So again, if you include them both, so they're buying that. They're buying the fact that Islam and science and human rights, all of these are issues in Islam. And the third point is the logical contradiction and conceptions of God, just the philosophy of that. 19% said it was a primary factor, but 68% said not a contributing factor, but 13% said no. The rest are just, internal inconsistencies in scripture. That obviously requires more detailed analysis of Islam, which I think you don't even need that. If you just question the first 3, that's it. Islam is gone. Feeling disconnected from the Muslim community, 40% and 59% said not a factor. I would have thought that I would actually want that 40% to go even further down, but probably it is what it is. Other non-religious reasons. I wonder what that would be. Now, these questions were introduced into the survey after a number of respondents had already completed it. So only 41% of respondents answered these questions. So it's probably not 500 people. It's probably around 200 people, just because obviously the question was introduced later on. In and out of the closet. Now, 33% say they're open about their apostasy. 64% say that they are partially closeted. 3% are fully in the closet. I'm actually surprised at this. 3%. I would have thought that the number is a bit higher, but again, we're dealing with people in North America and Canada, like America and Canada. These numbers would be flipped on their heads if it was in Pakistan, for example. I think that would be 64% would be fully closeted, 33% would be partially closeted, and then 3% would be open. Actually, no, probably 0.1% would be open. So that's the condition of ex-Muslims. So it's okay. So that they're doing slightly better. At least they can come out. Everyone has a right to live an honest life. Now, percentage of partially closeted respondents who hid their apostasy from. So who are they hiding their apostasy from? Similar background, 34%. Okay, so similar background would mean those from a similar ethnic background. So Pakistanis hiding it from other Pakistanis, Indians hiding it from other Indians. So that's 34% of the respondents did that. Muslim background, like, okay, so now widen the net a bit. Okay, so even though I'm a Pakistani, but I'm going to hide it from a Yemeni Muslim as well. So that goes up to 43%. So let's just not. It's still showing a lot of faith, though. And that actually shows a good sign that, okay, so if we're sharing our apostasy with 57% of other Muslims, and we're still alive, that's not too bad. Okay, so we're making some progress. Some families, 61%. Some friends, 45%. All family, 29%. Okay, so that's not, I would have thought that when it meant by partially closeted, most of that would be going towards your family, which is 29%. All friends and family, 2%. Oh, these guys are, I could, if I could give you a hug, I'll give you a hug. You're not alone. We're here for you. Okay, percentage of people who describe themselves as open. We've already done that one. Silly Harry. Negative experiences. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, so emotional manipulation. People who experience blank as a consequence of their apostasy. So emotional manipulation, 67% of the fully out apostates felt that. And 59% of partially closeted people felt emotional manipulation. Loss of friends, 62% open, 43% partially closeted. Verbal abuse, 61% of open ex-Muslims faced verbal abuse, while 38% of partially closeted ex-Muslims faced verbal abuse. Loss of family, 45% of open, and 23% partially closed. So now that actually shows you that why these people, and we're not exaggerating when we say that ex-Muslims don't really come out to the family, because look, there's a stark difference right there. 45% of the people were outed by their family when they came out as ex-Muslims. They said, no, we have nothing to do with you. 45%, that's almost 50%. So that's a damning statistic in a country like America or Canada. If you tell your parent, 50% chances are they're going to say, get out of my house. That's what it means. And 23% are partially closeted. Now, I'm guessing that 23% of these partially closeted because if they're not telling the family or they're not telling everyone entirely, there's a drastic decrease there. This is a damning statistic. Loss of family, 45%, almost 50%. Violent threats, 34%. So you're obviously, as you can see, the people who are openly ex-Muslims have got the wrong end of the stick. They're doing it tougher than partially closeted, and I would have seen it would have been better if they could actually add not out category as well. See how they've been impacted. I mean, where's the emotional? Because they would still have emotional manipulation or emotional, not manipulation, because there would be no one to manipulate them, but they would be going through a roller coaster of emotions because they don't want to fast, they don't want to pray, but they're constantly listening to their parents telling them, oh, you need to pray, you need to do this and that. So this is obviously damning statistics. Loss of financial help, 29%. Relocation threats, 21%. Being kicked out, 18%. Physical abuse, 13%. That's just sad. Okay, how is the life after Islam? Let's have some good news. Percentage of people who are adjusting to prohibited activities in general after leaving Islam. So had no difficulty. So they're like me, 39%. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go to nightclubs and do whatever we want to do. 39% of those people. But 61% of the people are actually still struggling to do those prohibited activities like speaking with opposite sex or even having ding dong, or having kind of a intimate relationship with person of opposite sex or same sex, if you swing that way. Nothing wrong with that. I think that might be even harder for ex-Muslims to be, if they are homosexuals, then acting on their homosexual tendencies. Anyway, so that's obviously 61% is still concerning. I would have thought that this number had no difficulties, should have gone up to at least 70, 80%. But this stat shows that how Islam actually ruins your life and your mental well-being. Okay, what about dressing freely? 48% said that it's no difficulty. So that's okay for me. Now I can put on that sexy little dress and hit the town. You go, girl. Some difficulty. 25% of the people having some difficulty, but great difficulty is 27%. So now that's concerning. We want to see that number go down. And all of you guys and girls out there, we are here. You are not alone. There's nothing wrong in dressing freely. You can take off that damn hijab. You can put that dress on. Guys, you can pull out those Speedos and let the Willy Wonka hang let loose. Okay. No. Don't show it in public, but, within reason. Alcohol consumption, 37% are had no difficulty. Like the moment you announce your apostasy, go out there. Let's clink glasses, eh? Have that vodka and martini. 38% had some difficulty, whereas 25%, it's actually, less people had problem drinking alcohol than dressing freely. That's, again, slightly, more or less the same. Socializing with opposite sex, 35% of the people are like, yay, party. And 37% are having some difficulty, but 28% are having great difficulty. Now, again, that is obviously, that would be hard, but it might not just be Islam. It could be some other thing as well. Premarital sex, 27% don't care. You go, guys and girls, you rock. 29% having some difficulty, but 44% are having great difficulty. Okay, that could be difficult. I'm like, should I do it or not? Should I? I don't believe in Allah, but what if he burns me in hell for just, having an orgasm? Okay, pork consumption. This is the hardest. Always taught that. Always taught that people are going to have more trouble eating pork, more than sex, more than drinking alcohol, more than socializing with opposite sex or even same sex. What about socializing with same sex for sex? You should have XMNA. You missed that trick. Anyway, dating is 24%, 29%, 47%. So that's almost more or less the same. Okay, last one. Let's have a look. Now, changing outlooks. Now, this is a very important one. A lot of people ask that. Why ex-Muslims, mostly they turn out to be left-leaning liberal atheists? Well, we have the stats to show it. Percentage of people who describe their political and social views as firmly progressive, 32%. Lean progressive, so basically center of the left. Or left of the center, I can never get that right. Lean progressive, 35%. Centrists are 28%. Now, all of these people, 28, 35, 32, what's that? 96% of the people are either centrist or left-leaning. So only 5% of the people are center of the right, and firmly conservative are 1%. So I would like to know who those 1% are, basically. No shaming. You're free to believe whatever you want to believe, but that is... I'd like to know who that is. Anyway, so that's it, guys. You can go and check this survey out yourself. Go to xmuslims.org. Let's start again. xmuslims.org/key-findings. So you're gonna like that one. To help me produce more videos like these, support me on Patreon or PayPal.